Welcome to Multiple Choice Question 13 of the 2007 Mathematical Methods Exam 2. In this video we will be looking at the solution for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. And now before we move on, I'd just like to point out that the use of a CAS calculator is an efficient way to approach this question. So for question 13 we have for the graph of y equals 4x cubed plus 27x squared minus 30x plus 10, the subset of R, the real number system, for which the gradient is negative is given by the interval, and it's one of the following 5 options. And whenever we're talking about the gradient of a function, that means that we're talking about differentiation. So therefore, if we want the gradient to be negative, another way of expressing that is that we want the derivative f dashed of x to be less than 0. And this is something that we can use our calculator to help us do. On the CAS calculator, go into the main menu. Next, we want to type in the rule for our cubic function, which was 4x to the power of 3 plus 27x to the power of 2 minus 30x plus 10. And now we want to calculate the derivative of that, so we highlight it and go interactive calculation diff and hit OK, and that gives us the rule for the derivative. So from the calculator, the derivative had a rule 12x squared plus 54x minus 30, and we want that to be less than 0. Next on the calculator we can drag down the rule for the derivative, and under the keyboard in Math 3 we can find our inequality symbols, and we want to solve the derivative less than 0. And we can highlight that and go interactive equation inequality solve for x, and that gives us the set of values for x for which the derivative is less than 0 or negative. And solving that gave that we had x was greater than negative 5 but less than 1/2. And now interpreting that as interval notation, the round bracket negative 5 to 1/2 with another round bracket means x is between negative 5 and 1/2, both excluded, which is what our set notation was describing. So that makes D the correct answer for this question. And from the examiner's report, we can see that 68% of students got this question correct, so it was reasonably well done in the exam. And just before we finish up, this would have been the graph of our original function. And this interval here from negative 5 to positive 1/2, all of the gradients of tangent lines drawn to that part of the curve would be negative. And if we sketched the derivative graph, the cubic would turn into a quadratic, and the value of the derivative is negative, so its function is below the x-axis for the same interval of negative 5 to 1/2.